fix your input? I don't know.
Try taking your shirt off.
Then should he twist it around his hand?
That's what works for me.
Hello and welcome to Full Warning, a Team Serious podcast. My name is Roger James.
And I'm BC Druid.
Today we are joined by two guests, returning guest Max Gibson, and also we are joined by a newcomer, Twan Quarry. Welcome to our podcast, Full Warning podcast. And Max, welcome back. How you doing, man?
Thanks, Raj. Doing great, man.
Awesome. So we will return to chat with Max in just a few minutes, but Twan, I want to focus in with you since you are the new guy around here, and I want to ask you, we've had a few episodes so far, so I guess I want to ask you, have you ever listened to our podcast before?
So I listened to your last podcast getting ready for Eternal Weekend.
Really? Okay. That's awesome. Okay. That's awesome to hear.
Attorney prep.
Yeah. Got any feedback for us?
Being that I only play vintage when I come to your thing in the summer at the lands, it was actually interesting to listen to what you guys thought was going to go on with the meta and what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, right on. Good. So that was actually perfect. It's perfect feedback. Our target audience is the same folks like that, exactly like that. So people who are going to come to the TSI in February maybe or in June. So people who don't play vintage a ton but want to hear about what went on but don't really want to go find the website and consume that for themselves.
Fair.
So Twan, if you have listened to our show before, then you know that we're going to ask you a question here. Angelo, you want to hit him?
Yeah.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Well, I'm a older nerd who's still playing the game that I love because my cousin got me into it when we were little.
Okay.
I'm highly surprised that I'm still playing it, but it's awesome.
Great answer.
That's a good answer, and we do want to give you a little bit of runway. You mentioned that your cousin got you into it, so yeah, this section, especially for our first-time guests, we want to give a little runway to talk about your magical background and journey to where you are now.
I spent a lot of time when I was young hanging out with my cousin, and I went over to visit him, and my uncle was like, hey, you guys can go to the store and get this game that I saw if you guys want to try it out. So we walked over and we got 2 starter decks of Revised, and we shuffled up and played what was in the box for some excruciating long but really fun games of Magic.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah. After that, I went and I taught my friends at Boy Scouts at summer camp how to play.
Yes.
Yeah, so recruited a little crew with that. And then we all very anxiously waited for Fallen Empires to come out. And a couple of my friends bought boxes, and we realized it wasn't very good.
It was garbage. It was just garbage.
I mean,
yeah, we opened
the dark wasn't great, but there was some
box.
Bangers in there that made up for it.
There was,
Empires.
but
yeah.
As a kid, I didn't get it though. I was just like, these are. I mean, none of these seem good compared to just Stone Rain and Land War Elves that I
was more like mad at myself that I couldn't figure out why they were supposed to be good. I was like, this looks like it's supposed to be good. Why am I not good enough at
you
Magic?
Thought you were the problem. Yeah.
To win with Dwarven Lieutenants, of course.
We were so confused by the fact that we're like, is Deep Spawn good? Is this what we're looking for? I don't know.
Right.
Is this the rare? I don't know.
I think.
So Fallen Empires came out, and so some friends probably quit from that, or did everyone keep playing, or what?
We kept playing, and I remember everyone being pumped about Ice Age. And then from there, we kept playing for a long time. We started going to the store in Washington, played there all the time, was playing Type 1 back in the day. Near the end of high school, we were trying to get competitive, and we went to some Pro Tour qualifiers.
Nice.
And I remember going to a Pro Tour qualifier and going 7-2, and I think that was the best I remember going.
Wow. Okay. Back then though, 7-2, that didn't get you anything, right? Like
you were
No, it
And
didn't
you were
get
probably
anything.
cheating,
It was,
right?
It was like, okay, you did pretty good, but you had to get first.
Did you cheat? Did you
get in.
cheat not
Yeah, did you
enough
cheat?
or too much?
I think I didn't cheat enough
Okay, yeah.
to defeat
Okay, fair.
Slivers.
Okay, so there
Okay.
was. I mean, because back then that was the norm. Well, the cheating was the norm. But were you aware that the best players in the room were probably cheating?
Yes, I was definitely aware that the best players in the room were probably
He was
cheating.
just mad that he wasn't able to figure out how to cheat in the same way that actually helped him win.
How were
Just like
you
Fallen
aware
Empires.
of that? You were obviously wanting to get competitive, so it was just the talk amongst players.
In my local area, one of the players that played in our store was Randy Bueller.
Okay,
Nice.
Okay.
And he was known for being an awful cheater before he became a big player.
Okay.
And then when he became a big player, and I'm like, this is the guy from my store that cheats all the time and is a dick. And now he's a legend.
Generating engagement here, folks. You heard it here. What store was that, Twan?
Maybe I'll have a Tumblr.
Is the Crusaders in Washington, PA.
Crusaders in Washington, PA.
Washington.
Okay. What year was that?
Started playing in 94. This would probably be in like 96 to 98 is when we were playing most of the time.
Yeah.
Because then I graduated high school in 98 and then went off to college and just played whenever I played.
It was not as an important of a thing. So it was kind of like, hey, did you follow the new stuff coming out at that point? Was it in your sphere of knowledge?
I followed it a little bit, but not really what was going on in the tournament scene. I remember I came back from college and I played a little bit, and then I sold all my cards.
Okay. Yeah.
So there was a point where I think I sold everything I had except for like a Caracas. And I have no idea why I kept it, but I still have the Caracas from my old collection.
Okay. Huh.
But I sold all my dual lands and I sold everything of value. And I mean, it is what it is. And then I started playing again because the nephew of the store owner eventually at one point reopened the store. The store was open for a long time. The four owners eventually closed it, and then their nephew reopened a new store, which is the Gaming Dungeon, which is still there.
It sounds spicy.
Yeah.
What happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon, right?
It's one of the many sayings.
Yeah. And he still runs that store, and he's a super nice guy. But I came back, and I started playing Modern.
Okay.
And I came back the day after they banned
Birthing Pod.
Deathrite Shaman.
Oh, okay. So it was like late in the game of Modern then, or how late? What year was that?
Yeah, it was late, and I remember it because I was going to buy a playset of them.
Okay.
And my buddy's like, they just banned that card, and I was like, well, I can see why.
Good card.
Totally.
You can play it in Vintage, so that's the only format you can play it in.
So I played Modern for a while at my local store and was doing that for fun. I did a couple Grand Prix just because it was fun to do, but I was never trying to be competitive again. And then with that, I've been playing Magic since back in the day with Evil Mailman.
Okay.
He's the one that then got me into playing older formats and meeting you guys and going to the old school events and all that kind of stuff.
So that basically brings us kind of to present day. You guys formed up a crew basically around you and Evil Mailman and some other friends there. I assume some from back in the day as well, right?
Yeah, so it's me and Evil Bob and JC. I knew JC back in the day in the store when I was getting out of college. I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And he kind of got me into the IT field and where I work.
Nice.
So, yeah, a lot of good friends from that store. And then Kevin I met later.
Okay.
But, yeah, a lot of good guys.
This is the mighty Three Rivers Wizards out of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for giving us that little background here on who you are and what you are doing here.
Max has been so quiet.
Max is just biding his time, I'm sure.
I'm on mute, not trying to interrupt too badly here.
Not
Eating chips.
Yeah, eating chips,
Exactly.
probably.
Just
Drinking whiskey, eating chips.
like you do on a Monday.
Max, what I want to talk about is I want to transition here to talk a little bit about the Eternal Weekend wrap-up. You're here, Twan is here, you're here to talk about middle school, but before we talk about middle school, I do want to talk about the vintage portion of Eternal Weekend, which you and I both participated in.
That's right.
Angelo, in the pre-Eternal Weekend podcast, we talked, and you said maybe you would play a Bizarre deck, or maybe you weren't sure what you might play if you were to play in the vintage.
You talking about me?
Yeah, but you said nothing was rolling your pencils. Nothing was tilting your
Yeah, I
desk.
wasn't about to ask people to borrow $1,000 cards to go play something that I'm not super hype about.
Kind of based on the Vexing Bauble as well as the Urza Saga restriction. Is there anything you're interested to know about, like what happened at Vintage, or now that it's in our rear view?
Let me start with this. I'm going to ask you guys each the same question. Max, did you have fun at Eternal Weekend playing Vintage?
I don't know if I did. I don't know if I can necessarily chalk that up to what the decks were and maybe what my opponents were, but I was kind of getting a little bit unlucky at times with my Citadel flips, like excessively unlucky. And then I had a couple times where your opponent just had it and they vintaged me.
That's vintage.
I like it when I get to do the vintaging, not the other guy.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
What about you, Raj? Did you have fun?
I did have fun for what I played. I think it kind of, I had fun. Yes, I did have fun. I might have picked a different deck in hindsight. Bottom line for me was that I didn't feel prepared on any deck.
Right.
So I should have picked a deck with higher highs than Mono White Initiative. Because, to Max's point, maybe I just get to do some vintaging, right? Yes, I could vintage people with the Mono White deck, but it's much less of a high, right? Than slamming down Coveted Jewel and picking up 10 artifacts and drawing 10 cards.
Yeah, that's a vibe. You feeling real good playing solitaire and stuff.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure, Max, you went off, right?
So I ended up finishing 2 and 3. I'm looking back here on Melee about my opponents, and first game I played against Eldrazi and I'm playing a pretty stock Grixis Tinker list.
Okay.
And so he's playing Eldrazi, and matchup's kind of draw dependent. If they can go off turn 1 and get a hate piece down and the Eldrazi thing's going, it makes it hard for me to win. Lucky enough, I have Sphinx of the Steelwind in my main deck. So both of the games I won, I just tinkered for Sphinx of the Steelwind. And it was pretty straightforward from there. He didn't really have a lot of ways to draw out of it. He did mention that there was some type of out for him a card that I had not seen or heard of before, but he never really drew it.
You think that was a psyop?
Oh, it might have been the Battle Mage. I think he can bounce my guy with the Battle Mage.
Okay, so
Wastegate Battle Mage.
He wasn't bluffing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't bluffing me. I'm looking at his list right now. So that was a new card. I learned some new cards because I don't get to keep up as much with the Modern Horizons.
Yeah.
So I'd like to.
Yeah.
Vintage Horizons. They should just call it Vintage Horizons.
Yeah.
So, because they ban it in Modern. Like,
right.
The only place you can play the cards.
They're in Vintage. Yeah.
So, my record was 2 and 4. And
so you lost one more than Max. I just want to make that real clear for audience.
Well, I think I just stayed in an extra round.
Let the record reflect more losses than me.
Right. You didn't know when to cut your losses. Got it.
But what was my rank? I was 296. It was the Max ahead of me then? Probably. Let's see.
I was 290. Gotcha.
Wow. What was the payout for that, Max? About 350?
If it was only 350, that would have been great.
So my record of 2 and 4 was basically the deck I picked. I said, okay, my worst matchup is the best deck, but hey, you know what? I could fade that all day. Who knows?
Yeah,
that didn't happen. Wah wah.
So
it didn't happen.
So since
I
you
played
guys
it
both
three out of the 6 times, but I didn't even play. To be clear, the 2 wins I had were my opponents not showing up in round 4 and 5.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Who are you, Dookie Tooth? Where are you? That was my round 4. That was my round 4 opponent. His name was Dookie Tooth.
Dookie Tooth, love it.
After last year, people realized you could put in your Melee name because Tom Basketball. So everyone has their fake Melee name. So round 4 opponent, who are you? Come forward, Dookie Tooth, wherever you are. If you hear this, I want to know who you are. And why didn't you show up to our round 4 match? Anyways.
So since you guys both had lackluster results, I mean, we don't need to do the round by round, but how about How about each of you take a minute and regale us with a tale of the moment you were riding the highest in the whole tournament? You got to do the thing, you won game 1, match 1, and thought, this is it. This is the beginning of a long run. Like what, Max, what was your like feel good moment from the 5 lackluster matches you managed to play?
So round 1 was really nice out of the gate. I opened with turn 1 Tinker. He doesn't counter.
Yeah.
You know, we're off to the races in that, and I won that match 2-0 pretty handily. So I'm feeling pretty good. I go into round 2, and my opponent is kind of a peculiar guy. I could just tell by his mannerisms.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll get this reel that comes up on my Instagram, and it's this Japanese bartender. He's not necessarily a flair bartender, but he's cutting the ice up in such a way, and he's making the drinks, and he's a samurai or something making the drinks, and his movements are very precise, but they're also fast and kind of almost like he's, I don't know, like it's some kind of martial art or something. And that's what my opponent was like.
That's you guys who you're playing?
Yeah, and he was like fanning his cards out and like one almost like I'm not a big like anime guy, but almost like he was making movements like that.
Okay.
And so that's the thing I remember most about him. And he was very peculiar. The first thing he did, he sat down. We're on time. He sits down and immediately calls a judge. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? I don't think I've ever called a judge in my entire life.
Okay.
But
we're going to talk about that.
So he sits down and he asks for a time extension immediately. And he just sat down. The judge looks at him. He's like, the round hasn't even started yet. And he's like, well, we need time to get settled in. And he ends up not giving him a time extension.
Yeah, of course not.
But through the whole time, he's looking at the clock. He's looking at the clock, and he's not playing very fast himself. But I lost a pretty close match against, and he was playing just a Demir Luris deck. That was like kind of an interesting memory because you never quite know the people that's going to sit across the table from you in one of these.
All right, so I got to know. We're not gonna name names or anything, but I want you to. Yeah. You got Melee up, right? Mm-hmm. I want to know how this guy finished.
Okay.
He was 114th. He was 5-4.
Okay. All right. Okay.
This guy top 8'd before. He's been in the top 8 before.
Okay.
I recognize his name. And he played Thieves, I believe, was when he top 8'd.
All right. So Raja, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna ask you a more specific question here. At the Airbnb, you were like ranting and raving about like judge calls and how the REL at the Team Serious events is too low. The REL's too low. We can't call ourselves Team Serious and not take this stuff seriously, man.
I didn't.
You were throwing things like you were pretty salty, bro.
I can see you
Maybe
doing
it's because you were just hungry. I don't know, but like, what was the logic behind that? Because I wasn't of a state of mind to care enough.
All right. So what happened was I was playing against Dredge, and it was game 2. He smashed me in game 1, and he hit in game 1. He hit all the creeping chills. You know, the -3/+3.
It's a good feeling.
So he only had, and then he had like 3 Icaras or something. So he could just like keep dredging and attacking, and I was gonna. I died. So game 2, I have Archon of Absolution in my deck, which is, it's like an effect that says they can't attack unless they pay a mana for each creature that they want to attack. And so they have Wasteland in the deck, and they have ways to pay, but he didn't. And I landed it after he had flipped 2 Narcomoebas the previous turn. And on my turn, I look at my board and I look at his board and I turn my Archon of Absolution sideways and I say attack. And then I realized that the two Narcomoebas that are sitting on the table overlapping each other are actually two Narcomoebas, not one. And I'm like, I don't want to attack. He's like, well, you already attacked. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, I'm going to take it back. He's like, well, no. And so at that point, I should have just called a judge, because the way that the board was represented and the way the judges interact now in a competitive REL event, I would point at the board, I would point at my card, and I would say, I thought that was one card. And the judge would say, what have you done? Has the game state changed at all? And then my opponent would say no. And the judge would say, okay, well, you misrepresented the game state by having these overlap. Of course, he's not going to attack into your things that can kill his only creature that's holding off your entire board. The judge, in my opinion, would have allowed me to roll that back. So, but I didn't even call the judge. The bottom line is I didn't call the judge, and I should have just called the judge. That's what you do in a competitive REL event.
Yeah,
you just
what's the
call
worst?
the judge.
You said it the other night. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, they just say no and you lose anyways.
Exactly.
It's sort of like that last minute brainstorm when you're digging for that force of will. It's like judge of will. That's what we should call it.
Well, the point is that even if you make the mistake, if the game state hasn't actually changed, and you didn't actually indicate you were leaving that phase or something, and you didn't say go to blocks or something to even indicate that clearly, then the judge might rule in your favor. But the bottom line is you don't know that until you call the judge.
I mean, I feel like you should be allowed to, like, there was that dude that forgot to swing with a Hazard or whatever forever ago, or declare attackers at the right time. I feel like you should be able to tap them sideways, just get a feel for it. Like, what does this look like when I attack with all my creatures? Okay, let me untap them, you know? Like,
just to see what the board might look like.
Well, because if you're like a visual guy and you're like, well, I got a blocker, and then like I can attack with them, then you attack with them and go, oh wait, now he can't block anymore. It's too late. You want to be able to visualize what all your creatures tapped looks like.
No, I agree with you. I kind of tend to do it that way a little bit too. I kind of indicate to my opponent I'm going to enter my attack step, and then I turn some guys sideways, and maybe that's what we're going to do. But then I indicate to them, okay, this is the attackers. At
you
the end
say
of that,
you're done. You say now set attackers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's fair to wait for the opponent to like lock it in.
Well, and it's very telling that your opponent didn't call a judge. Like that he was just like, no, and just going to wait and see what you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, I think I don't chalk that up to malevolence. I chalk that up to inexperience as well. No, I honestly think that person was inexperienced as well, and probably I will give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess, to say that they were also just inexperienced in competitive REL. Because Bazaar is like budget deck. I'm not going to say they're a budget player, but again,
I mean, it's what you play when you can't afford the cards all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly.
Although 4 Bazaars ain't cheap.
But even if you're borrowing too, like that's easier borrow, right? Than a full set of power. So in the end, what I was saying is, I can't remember, what was the name of the REL that I was changing it to? Serious REL, maybe. And that was maybe what you were conflating. So I was saying,
sure, it's
a serious REL, which just means the normal takebacks that you would give your opponent in our casual environment, you can still do that. But you have to call a judge, which just means someone next to you has to acknowledge that it's happening, right? So like that you get used to, like when you take something back, you call judge. And so you're training everyone that that's what you have to do, because that's what you're going to do if you want to play at champs.
We should have rolled that out at the middle school world champs.
That's Eric's event. I can't make him change the REL for his.
We could have talked him into it, let's be honest.
So I think that was maybe the most interesting or notable thing. I think also the thing that I felt really good about was I did win game 1 against Esper Luris, and I played a thing and they didn't counter it, and I didn't have a cavern or anything. So they just didn't have force on turn 1. I was like, yay! So that was a great opener to the day, winning that game 1, but then he played Psychic Frog and did things in game 2 and 3, and that was not as fun. So, but overall, I think I just picked not a great deck. I mean, you can see in the top 8, there's no mono white decks in the top 8.
Man, deck was riding high 2 years ago.
Yeah, you got 4 Esper Luris decks. You got 2 Jewel Shop decks, one Doomsday, one Oath. So I'm not super surprised by what the top 8 turned out to look like. So, and I'm not super surprised by the people who are at the top, because that deck is an incremental advantage deck that is in a lot of formats, especially Legacy. Right. I understand that it's a deck that people do like, because it's a style of deck that's been around for a long time, and people like that when it's the best deck. We need to unrestrict something, I think, is the answer. But this is not
They're
going
to print that. Vintage Horizons Masters 5 next year. Because 1, 2, 3, and 4 are coming out over the next 3 months. And it'll be a whole different format until they ban the cards right before Eternal Weekend again.
Yes.
So just start planning for this meta right here with like one-ofs of some busted card.
And then, just reset.
And then just reset.
So in the end, the guy who won, Max Gilmore.
Not Max really Gibson, right?
Not Max Gibson,
Okay. No. Big whammy.
He's like a really big... I was just saying he's a really big Legacy player, and in my lead up to testing for Eternal Weekend, I bought some MTGO tickets off of him so he could buy a Sapphire. So
that's your connection to
fame. I helped.
Got it.
I helped.
Staying relevant.
It's Eternal Weekend vintage. Twan, anything you're interested to know? I mean, you're kind of, just listening, observing. Did you have any thoughts about the vintage portion of Eternal Weekend?
So I didn't actually make it down to the main convention center. I was thinking about it to get some art signed and stuff, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play vintage next year.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, it'll be a format for like just that tournament only. So as Angelo said, just,
No, it'll be just like this year. They're going to wait they're not even going to give us the land anymore. Like we can't walk in there with our decks from the land. They're going to, cut us off.
That's what I'm saying. The land deck will just wait to build your deck for the land till right before.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And know that it's not going to be legal.
I thought he was saying Eternal Weekend next year. Okay. Yeah.
Oh no,
even better.
I built my deck like a week before the last time it came out.
I will also want to mention, I got to meet Eric Wilkerson. He's a really cool guy. I hadn't seen much of his art before, but he did the new Recruiter of the Guard art, which is the white Imperial Recruiter. So, great event overall. Let's transition and talk a little bit about the Middle School World Championships, which is the main event that we were all in Pittsburgh for that weekend. Of course, we love vintage, and not everyone did play. There was some sourness, but the bright spot of the weekend, the Middle School World Championships. This is the second annual event that we held. Same location. It was at the Slyfox at the Highline. It was held on Saturday this year. It was at 4 p.m., a little later than it was previous years, just to allow for potentially more participation.
Which I think paid off, right?
We had a few more people. There was 24 participants, which was 4 more than the previous year.
A lot of new faces, though.
Yeah, that was what was really cool. There was a lot of different crews that came in. Do you remember where some of those crews were from?
Yeah, there were some Stones guys there that I'd never met before.
Yeah, a bunch of Stones guys that we've never met. So that was really cool.
Yeah, there were Nashville guys that I had not met before that were real nice.
Nashville guys I hadn't met before.
There was some Nashville guys. Yeah. And they were not they were not necessarily associated with Casey.
They were asking me about Casey, like, Casey, man. I'm like, yeah, I met Casey before.
He's great. So they may be so they were affiliates. That's awesome. Yeah, and then I want to say there was some people from Philly, maybe some Eastern Coast people. I don't know. Maybe not. But it was a really nice event. I really love that venue where it is down in the holler there, right next to the railroad tracks.
Down in the holler.
I missed it again. Did anyone get a sweet picture of that graffiti rail car?
Oh, the train car?
Dark.
Oh, man.
And
it got dark so fast. I didn't get the picture.
with you, and it looked terrible. I was like, never mind.
Never
well
mind.
lit.
Yeah, that's a nice little area once they opened that up and they put Slyfox there and they put some of those other businesses in. They did a good job with it.
I want to ask you guys about your deck choices for this. So, for those of you who are tuned in for this section, we have the champion, the runner-up, and the third place finisher of the Middle School World Championships. They're all here. They're all here in the house tonight. So, I want to start with you, Max. I want to ask you about your deck choice for the World Championship.
All right, so I kind of just ran my deck back from the last World Championship with a few sideboard tweaks.
Okay.
And honestly, this is the same deck that I had when I very first played in middle school. It served me pretty well. I've been X-1 in every tournament.
There you go. And this is Max's Psychotog deck featuring Winter Orb, the playset of Gushes, right? Things like Opt to fuel your Meddling Mage hits, right?
Yeah, so a couple interesting interactions that kind of came up this time that I thought were kind of memorable to me. Yeah, we've got the peaks to peek at the opponent's hand for Meddling Mage.
Yep.
And I can't remember if I had this in there last time I played this deck or not, but I have 2 portents in there.
Okay.
Slow cantrip. And this is the first time that I've gotten use the effect of targeting my opponent with the portent.
Yeah.
And in the 2 times I did it, it was really, really effective.
Yes.
One of the times I did it to my opponent who I knew was mana screwed. All
right.
And I knew he was mana screwed. I was able to just put 2 bricks on top of his deck, and then I knew he was going to draw Swords to Plowshares and have Meddling Mage to name Swords to Plowshares with.
Well, that's hot.
Beautiful.
And another one, I could kind of surmise. I was playing against a Manus deck, and he had just discarded two lands. So I was like, this guy he's probably got some lands in his hand. So I portent him, and I put 2 lands on top of his library. And sure enough, he was kind of flooded the rest of the game. So it did kind of work, oddly enough.
That's great.
Nice. So I want to pivot over to you, Twan. I want to ask you about your deck choice for the.
I woke up the morning that day, and my decision was play something spicy or play something that I've played a million times and I know is pretty good. So I decided to go with the deck that I'm very familiar with because it's kind of built like the deck I played way back in the day.
Okay.
And it's the deck that when we did our first Three Rivers Wizards food drive tournament, it's the deck that I won with that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so I know it's capable. I know how to play it. And I'm going to be drinking, so I need to also make it something I'm familiar with.
There you go. And so your deck is the red-white shadow.
Yeah, so it's white weenie with a splash of burn, a lot of shadows, Mother of Runes,
yeah. Lightning
bolts, firestorm, and then it's got a land tax scroll rack engine.
Okay. Very nice. So, Angelo, what did you decide to bring to this fight?
Well, a couple years back, 2-3 years ago, our friend Roger had been playing some middle school with us, and he showed up to this pre-land event with this blue deck that he'd been tinkering with and was one of 2 undefeated folks that night. Him and Patrick Vincent were the only 2 left. And they didn't get to play because Bottle House was kicking us out. And I built the deck, and I've played it a couple different times. And every time I play it, I'm like, man, this deck, it's got some heat if you know how to play the deck. So I decided after the last Stones League that I'm just going to keep running it until I learn how to play it. And that'll, look like me winning an event. And then I just won the event I played in after the Stones League.
There you go. I was just going to say, this guy, if you've listened to this podcast, this guy is like always woe is me. I'm normally like the first one out. I normally, I'm normally near the bottom of everyone on Team Serious and whatever tournament. This is this doom and gloom. Eeyore. We'll call it. You're Eeyore.
Yeah, well, I'm not happy about winning either because now I don't get to play the blue deck for like 6 more things. I mean, I will anyways, but sure.
You can play different variants of the blue deck. Play my blue deck. Make that one win.
No, your blue deck sucks.
What? No. 3-1 Flyers close the game out way faster.
Listen,
and Ristic Study is just awesome.
This deck has everything. This deck has Curiosity. This deck has Sigil of Sleep. This deck has not 4, not 8, 12 counter spells that I don't have to pay mana for, and 2 more that cost 1 mana. Main deck Annul. This deck has main deck Annul, dude. This deck is insane. It's so sideways.
It's so greedy with the number of lands and stuff.
Greedy.
So
that's what I need to say on the cast. The trick to this deck, and I think the reason it works, A, is because most of the cards aren't legal in pre-modern, or several of the cards aren't. But B, it runs 15 lands. 15. So, or maybe it's 14.
14 was 14. The count that you were playing and testing.
Okay, so 14.
Go up to 15?
No, 14 is correct. And what you do is you just mull to an island. And once you have an island, you're good. That's the whole play pattern. Mull to an island. If I have an island and a portent, freaking awesome.
And how many times did you have to mulligan in the tournament?
At least once per match. I won a game after losing game 1. I won game 2, and then I mulliganed to 5 and came from behind in game 3.
There you go.
Yeah. But I only mulliganed hands that were 3 or more islands or no islands.
Yeah. So you don't need too many.
And actually 3 or more islands isn't that bad. But anyways, it was great. I had fun.
Not horrible. Yeah, not horrible. So we got the deck set up. I played Twan. Out of the 3 of you, that's the only person I played. So I will just comment briefly that I was excited in that matchup. I think you have Thran Quarry in your deck, so
he did.
I'm like, Thran Quarry. Okay, what does he even have for one? I'm thinking he has a bolt. I'm like, Thran Quarry, it makes not white, because like his whole deck is white. So he's like smugly played this Thran Quarry. I'm like, okay, sure. Bolt. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And I go for my dragon combo, and he's like, okay, yeah. And swords. And I'm like, okay.
Boom.
Dope. It makes white mana also. It makes all the colors, not just red. That was rude, but it was fun. I was happy to get to play some people that I didn't know or had met on Discord before, but not in person before.
I have to admit, I did a bad job of that, getting to know people that I've probably met digitally that I met in person. I wasn't paying attention.
I met a bunch of people, but I'm also really bad with names.
That's fair. My round 1, I got to play Robin, who is the guy who plays Replenish, who does the streaming. I got to play against him. It was cool because, that deck it's hard to deal with sometimes, but it's probably going to be easier to play against him specifically because I've met him now, so I know what he's about, how he's playing the game. So it's nicer if someone's playing a tough deck or a hard to beat deck and you know that they're coming from a good place and they're just here for the same reasons, to have fun, then it's easier to lose to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't plan on losing to you in the future, Robin. I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. I think I got to play Ian also. Is that you played against Ian?
I played Ian.
So that was cool to put that one together. I'd seen his name on the Discord and stuff. So yeah, overall, just really nice to get to play people that I've met online but hadn't met in person before. And yeah, we'll get into a little more of the. I'll talk to each of you a little bit about how it went. So again, Twan, I'll start with you. What was the most notable? What was the highest high and the lowest low for you? Because you had only one loss. So what was the highest high for you on the day?
I was really happy to actually beat World Gorger Dragon.
Fair enough. Bob beats you up with it? Is that why?
Yeah, Bob beat me up pretty bad with it at the last event he played, which I'm happy for, because Bob normally, when he runs an event, intentionally doesn't play his best deck, and then he got to play at that event, and I ran it. I was like, Bob, you're allowed to win.
There you go.
So yeah, that was a good moment, and then and usually the whole land tax scroll rack combo isn't needed. Okay. But when it is needed and it does pay off, it feels really good. It's just like, I just get all the value. And I did have it pay off at a point where we were in a stall, and I'm like, all right, now I'm just miles ahead.
Yeah.
So that felt pretty
So
cool.
finally, that whole engine is because you close the game pretty fast. So that's a good engine to get you back in the game or generate advantage.
Yeah, we got in a position where we're okay, we're toe to toe, could be anyone's game, and then once that got online, I'm like, okay, well, this is just a landfall of value in my direction.
So what was the lowest low then that happened? Was it your loss or was it something else?
I don't mind losing to Angelo, especially when he buys me drinks first. But I got really beaten. I just felt helpless in that matchup.
I would say the lowest low would have been when you found out you had to play another round, period. I would have been like, come on, man, I'm 5-0. Like, really? I'm the only guy that's undefeated. That would have felt pretty bad.
Yeah, but I was kind of on that. I was like, I got this. I'm going to...
Felt good about it.
Swagger.
Felt good to prove it. Yeah. I mean, I like playing the +1 round and not doing the cut, especially in that environment. It's an old school standard thing that we've done for a lot of years, Swiss +1. Where basically, if you're 5-0, that's cool, but instead of doing a cut,
prove it,
where you got to win 3 more, you just play 1 more and prove it, right? And it came down to a really good match, but like you said, in that match, you got really handled, even though you were cruising all day. And I was just Angelo. Things were coming up Angelo, I think, that day.
And his deck did what it did. It has to keep you kind of crippled to do what it. If you're going to kill people with 1/1s, you got to keep them pretty crippled.
Yeah, it's a lot of turns. You got to do that. All right. So Max, what about you? So you played. We played 6 rounds. I thought I heard you say you lost round 1, or which round did you lose?
I won my first round against a Madness opponent, and then I lost to Bob playing Rock.
Oh, did you feel like their day was done after you lost to Rock?
He just absolutely crushed me. I don't have any removal spells in my main deck.
Okay.
So if he starts playing these big creatures and I don't have counter, and I don't have a clock on him or a big enough Dryad, then I just can't win. And he just kept playing things, and then play Baloff, play Spiritmonger, and
he got the Spiritmonger.
And he deeded me too. Deed for 2. Like, all my guys are 2. So and I have Mox Diamonds. So he deeded me.
Oh my gosh!
And I was never really in the game at all with him.
So did you feel like your day was done after that? You were 1-1. You're like, I lost round 2. It's like,
yeah. I was like, well, maybe the magic is gone. Because this deck does need to. It wants to run it. It has to run it at optimal capacity. It has to get a really good mix of lands and spells, like 2 islands, 3 islands. That's all you really want. Anything more than that, or less than that, you're not. You need 2 to function, right? Because you need to be able to gush. Once you can gush, you feel like you're in a pretty good. Things are going to work.
Similar to Angelo's deck, where you were playing low to the ground, but not so low to the ground. You need a couple at least to get going.
And the deck itself is just very greedy, and not necessarily in the way that it has enough mana sources, but the colored sources, because it's a mono blue deck. But it has a green splash for Quern Dryad, it has a black splash for Psychotog, and it has a white splash out of the board for swords, and then main deck Meddling Mage. So there's this weird balancing act that you have to have between where you want to play your Mox Diamonds so you can have colored mana, but then you don't want to discard your islands because you need 2.
Right.
So that came up a number of times where I'm like, oh man, if I just draw 1 more island, but I discarded it to my Mox Diamond so I can play my Mage. and so that's kind of something that you need to look out for when you're trying to cast Gushes and also Mox Diamonds. And now it's great if you draw, you can cast your Gush, because then you can cast your Mox Diamonds with the islands that you return to hand, and you're usually in pretty good shape. But that matchup was pretty difficult. The other matches, I don't really have too many strong memories of them. Psychotog, still good.
Yeah, still good.
Coming from just playing Psychic Frog, which is a much better Psychotog. It's cool that the good boy Psychotog. He still has some teeth. Yeah, he still has some teeth in this match.
All right, so do you remember where your opponents were from? I don't recognize a ton of the names here that you played. Besides,
I think
Bob.
I know one of the guys was like a Stones guy. So they're from Austin, right?
Yeah. Cool. Right on.
I don't really remember anyone else.
Yeah.
Round 6, the final round was against kind of a nemesis matchup for this deck, Mono Red.
Oh.
I have a completely teched out sideboard for mono red. I got the 4 chills, got the
4
winter
chills,
orb,
baby.
and and
Yeah.
I got really lucky. He got flooded out in game 1, and I was able to squeak that out. And then round 2, he beat me through a chill. And then round 3, I had 2
stack
chills.
those up.
Yeah, you got to.
stack
Yeah,
those up.
It was a very close game because I wasn't drawing very well, and I didn't really have much of a clock on him. And
But if you chill plus winter orb, then it's
it's really really hard for them to win.
Yeah.
But he Mog Fanatic me probably like 15 times.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot. It almost got there with just the Mog Fanatic that he played on turn 1. So
nice. Right on. All right, Angelo. So you came out of this thing on top, number 1, numero uno.
Yeah.
So I would guess that was probably the best thing about the day overall, but
That was
tell
cool.
me.
I had a good time slinging spells. The winds felt good. Everything was coming up, Angelo. Round 4 wasn't great. I played my round 2, round 4 opponents were both in their first ever middle school event. And then 2 of the guys, round 3 and round 5, were Romancing the Stones dudes. And then the other guy was your friend Troy. He was first round.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then, so when we got to the end there, I had lost Taylor, who I think Twan had beaten and then Max beat in the final round.
Okay.
Which is what vaulted me into first place.
Max beating Taylor put you at the top because you beat Twan. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the 4 of us were all in the hunt.
Yeah.
Just looking at the numbers,
what was Taylor's
a mono red Sly kind of thing. He got me.
Okay.
He got me game 1 because I was like, he doesn't have the Fire Blast, and he had the Fire Blast. And then game 2, I chilled him out, and then game 3, he had all the rebs. So he got me on my chills before I had any counter backup. I had 2 chills, and I think I drew a third maybe, and he countered them. I was like, damn.
So you guys were all 5-1s. It was super close. It came down to Angelo's game record was 11-4-0. Twan's was 10-4-0, and Max was 10-5-0.
Right.
So that's how close it was overall. Angelo and Twan came down to the second tiebreak. Total games won. So that game record ended up mattering as the second tiebreak.
Yeah.
Shout out to the rest of the 4-2s. Taylor Scott in 4th, Evil Mailman in 5th, Big Nom in 6th. So McGrew was in 7th, and then Robin in 8th.
If I hadn't picked that game off Taylor, Twan would have been first place, and I would have been second.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you would have both had game record of 10-4, and then it would have gone down to opponent's game win percentage.
Oh, but that would have upped Taylor's game. It would have upped it for both of us, so it doesn't matter. It would have upped Taylor's game win percentage. But yeah, it would have been Twan. So that's one game, the power of one game, kids.
Yeah.
Always play match 3 even if you lose the first 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I should have beat you a game. That would have been the answer.
That would have done it too, probably. That would have been a crazy. That would have been a crazy result.
So let's talk a little bit about the hardware. You guys took home some beautiful trophies.
Yeah, I like the Dex box prizes too.
Deck box prize. It was a dumpster for the last place finisher that stuck it out for the whole tournament. Then we had a cool refrigerator, so you could put your deck box in the coolest deck box in the refrigerator, right? For the spiciest deck, I believe. I want to ask you, Max, where is your trophy right now?
So I wish that I could tell you guys that it's in my office right now, but immediately, whenever I got home, my kids wanted to know about Trip, and I showed them that trophy, and my son Rowan just immediately ran off and put it in his room. So
That's awesome.
That's where it's living right now.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. All right,
he's pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So he took that. Now, I'll just ask, did he make any aspirations, or just like he needs a trophy, or it's just cool because it's daddy's?
Yeah, I think it's just cool because it's mine.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, can I have that?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can put it in your room."
Boom. Awesome. That's awesome. All right, Twan, you took home beautiful second place runner-up trophy. Where's that trophy right now?
So on the way home, I did stop somewhere where my friends are at. I showed it to them. And then once I got home, I put it on my fireplace mantle. So I have another trophy from another middle school event that we did.
Okay.
So they're hanging out together now
Nice.
on the fireplace mantle.
World Championship and Three Rivers Wizard champion trophies. Beautiful. Hanging out together.
And those are really nice trophies. They did good. You guys did a good job with them.
Yeah, that's all Eric. It's all Eric.
All Eric,
so
baby.
I'm sure he will hear this. Eric does listen to the podcast, so he will hear your compliments.
Oh, he drives a lot. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. That's in contrast to most of Team Serious who does not. But they will. They will listen to this in like 10 years. They'll be like, I wonder what was going on.
Keep telling yourself that.
I will listen to it anyway. Angelo.
Yes.
So you took home the biggest trophy, the largest trophy. I think they were all the same size.
They were all the same
It seemed
size.
like it was the biggest. It seemed the biggest.
Felt a little heavier.
It was the coolest color.
It was the coolest color. It was a beautiful golden trophy. Where is that trophy right now?
It's on a little bookshelf in my living room right next to my Castmaster bookend.
I know you have two lovely ladies at home. What did they think of this trophy?
The apathy was palpable. Like, they could not have cared less. They wanted to know how much money I won. And when I explained to them that I got more in glory than any amount of money could buy me, they went right back to what they were doing.
Well, we love you, buddy. We love you.
It's okay.
Yeah. No, they cared. They just, they wanted to know if there was, also a steak dinner involved.
Right.
Speaking of steak dinners, Angelo, we were at the Slyfox on the Highline. Mm-hmm. I was showing you earlier some of the pictures from my picture album. I have a really good picture of you smashing French fries in the middle of your match.
Destroying French fries, yeah.
Talk to us about some of the food you ate at the Slyfox during the tournament, and what did you drink?
I think that was round 4. Maybe it was round 2. But I had one too many beers, and I was like, I want to kind of try to do well, so I'm going to get something to eat. I got up to the thing, the menu kept like changing pages and stuff. And so I like impulse
the digital menu.
Yeah, it was throwing me off. So I impulse ordered like French fries. Like, just give me French fries. I didn't even think to get cheese, loaded fries. I was just like, just give me fries. And I thought I could get them and smash them between rounds. Of course, as soon as I sit down and shuffle up, they show up. So I'm playing that whole match with my left hand, eating fries as fast as I can with my right hand because I was pretty hungry. So the fries were good, though. I mean, I ate a whole family-sized basket by myself. And then later I went back and I got the saucy nugs or whatever they call them. And they were actually stellar for boneless wings, whatever they're supposed to be. But yeah, I ate like a child. I didn't need to do that.
It was fair. Okay. What did you guys eat? Twan, what did you eat? Did you eat anything?
So I didn't get anything there. I ate right before I got there.
You were telling me.
I went to the Hofbrau House.
Yeah.
Down the road.
House.
I was full of mashed potatoes and sauerkraut and pork shank. I felt like I was going to explode for the first 2 rounds.
Nice. So Hofbrau House. We'll have to add that onto our list.
I used to work at the Hofbrau House in Cincinnati.
Oh, it was in a chain?
Yeah, the Cincinnati was the first one, and then Vegas was the second one, and then they've been rolling them out across the United States. It's actually owned by TGI Fridays, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
did not know that.
It's like right down from there.
Interesting.
That from where we are at Slyfox, a lot of time I park my car there, get a beer at Slyfox, ride my bike.
It's that close? Man,
get food. Get out of here.
That's the play next time, I guess. Okay. Max, did you eat at Slyfox?
So I did not eat. I also ate beforehand.
Okay.
So after I scrubbed out of the Legacy event and nearly lost my Legacy deck, I kind of was a little bit tilted.
Wait, how did you almost lose your Legacy deck?
Oh, you don't want to just gloss over that?
We could, but I want.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear that.
Have the story told.
Okay. So, yeah, it was really kind of a kind of a scary moment. I've never done this in 20 plus years of playing and coming to tournaments like this, but I just left it. I didn't pack it in my backpack, and I just left it on the table. And I went back. I went to go get like a cup of coffee, and then I came back from my round, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't have my deck. I'm like, I go through all my backpack, go through everything, and so my opponent's like being really cool about it, and he's like, "Well, we'll call a judge, and we'll get a time extension to see if we can find it." And so I go up to the judge's station, and I'm like, "Hey, has anyone turned in this Doomsday deck? It's in purple sleeves.
Hella
It's in a Star
spendy.
City Squirrel deck box." They're like, "No, but we'll take your information." And I'm like, "Oh no, because the dude that has it's probably walking out the door right now."
Yeah.
I have maybe 30 seconds of just despair, and then I hear a judge say, Max Gibson, we've got your deck." And somebody had turned it in, and they looked at, and all the deck lists are on, they're on MTG Melee, so they looked it up, and they saw where it was at, and they saw my deck list, and they're like, "Yeah, here's your deck back."
That's classic.
Like, shout out, props to whoever did that. I never got the guy's name, but if I ever run into him again, I owe him dinner, I owe him something. So, but it's in contrast to like the land events where everybody just leaves their stuff everywhere.
You're right. That's again. That's because we're not in Comp REL. We can't like. We have to up that REL. You need to be stealing decks. If you see something, you got to take that. You got to teach everyone to be more serious.
Actually, just start hiding people's stuff around the land.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you see a deck box unattended, you have to take it and put it in the stolen deck box area. It's going to be in the cabin. Box. It'll be a little basket. So if you can't find something, you know where it'll be. It'll be in the little basket because you got
to take a shot of Malort for being a naughty boy and moving your deck out.
I'm not coming to the lands this year.
Yeah.
I didn't say we're doing it. We're just brainstorming. We're just spitballing here, Angelo. All right. Doesn't mean we're doing it. So
I get my deck back.
So where did you go to eat?
I ended up going to a pretty cool place that I had actually been to this place once before, but it had moved to kind of theater district area, and it's called Gaucho Paria.
Okay,
and they're like an Argentinian kind of wood fire grill. It was really pretty good. I got like a nice play on a gin and tonic, calmed myself down a little bit, and then I got this steak sandwich on fresh made focaccia bread. It was really, really good. So at the tournament, I was super full. I was actually still feeling overly full, so I didn't really drink any beer, but I was drinking old fashions.
Okay.
And so those were going down. Those were going down pretty easy. After the bartender had to teach the other bartender how to make them.
How to make them?
Yeah, he was like a younger guy. He was definitely in his early 20s. The female bartender taught the guy how to make them.
Yeah, that guy did not know very much about bartending.
No.
Every time we went to do something, he would look over at the other bartender for confirmation that he was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I ordered a chicken sandwich, and I was looking at the menu, and it kept flipping, like Twan is saying. I wasn't sure, but I assumed it would be a fried chicken sandwich, but I just said chicken sandwich. And it came out as a grilled chicken sandwich with just a fresh salad on top, tomato, lettuce, onion. So it was very light overall for a bar food. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was not wanting it to be super heavy. That's why I didn't order the burger. And that sandwich was pretty dope. I can't remember. I was drinking Cokes for most of just Coca-Cola, but I had one beer at the end, which was an icy mango, I want to say. So overall, I thought, again, big ups to Slyfox on the Highline. I hope we can do it again there. We are pretty well below our cap limit. I think they said we could have up to 48. So I think we should be good again for next year at the Slyfox.
Yeah, they did a good job taking care of us. Their blood orange sour was really good too.
Blood orange sour, that's what you were partaking in there, Twan?
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. So I want to now expand. I want to talk more. I want to go back to Thursday night. I want to talk about food across the weekend. So I just want to run through some of the places that I went and just give some big props to those places. Actually, I'll say we got pizza on, that was Friday night, right? And because we just didn't want to go anywhere, do anything.
Well, Eric and I were getting in late, and we didn't want to try to.
Yeah, well, it was just basically we wanted to play cards. We wanted to hang out and play cards. So it was Pizza Milano. They were really fast. I'll give them that.
It was pretty good.
Really fast. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. The Italian sub was good. It was swimming in vinegar, just the way I like it. I give them props. Then Urban Tap, that was breakfast on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good.
Well, that's because that mom and pop shop we wanted to go to was jammed.
Oh, what was that place called? It was like an Irish diner.
We got to get back there. Well, let's put it this way. It was clearly not people not from the neighborhood. Like, people who lived in the neighborhood were going there.
Right, yes. It was,
and that's good.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It was definitely everyone from the South Side neighborhood there. They were coming to eat their normal breakfast.
Was that Harp and Fiddle or
Shoot It
Mullins or
maybe Harp and Fiddle? That sounds right. It's right down the street from
Urban Tap and stuff. Yeah, we walked. It was just on East Carson. So
yeah, I think that's what it is. That place is really good.
All right, so Twan gives it 2 snaps up and a wave. The main dopest place that we ate, which we also ate on Saturday night because I convinced everyone that we should go there again. Because they didn't go there on Thursday night. Nam and I did, which was Pittsburgh Poke, which is just a build your own poke bowl place. And it's amazing. Just pile on all sorts of raw fish on top of sushi rice and then put all the stuff that you would put into sushi, but just on top of it in the bowl. Mm-hmm. And then you eat it. And it's amazing.
And you put it in your mouth. Chew.
You put it in your mouth. Got that on Thursday night. I convinced everyone that I looked it up. It was open till 2 a.m. It was like 1. I said, okay, now is the time. We should walk there. Does anyone else want to go? I am going to do that. And then I think it was a 6 or 7. I think everyone
went except for Nat, who's like, bring me something back.
Yeah, and Nat partook by getting takeout from there. So, yeah, Pittsburgh.
I recall that he really wanted to get a burrito, but you guys tried really hard to make that happen for him.
Yes.
Yes. Quite come to pass.
Yeah, and because the menu says choose your rice, but she grabs a bowl with white rice and starts. And I think at that point you're allowed to say something, but if you don't, then that's what you get.
I should have called a judge, man.
Yeah, Nam did not call the judge on the bowl with white rice. When he said burrito, and then she said, yeah, burrito, and then still holding the bowl of white rice. That
clearly misstating what's on the battlefield there. That's a violation.
Yeah,
you don't pass priority.
Straight gaslighting him, right? Like, yes, burrito. And so Nam is like, okay, and starts telling her the rest of the stuff to put on it, and she just goes and starts putting it on the bowl. So yeah, I think that's what happens at 1 a.m. Probably not so much at normal business hours. Nat still ate his whole bowl. Let's say that. And he doesn't listen to this podcast anyway, so he can't refute me. I could say whatever. He ate part of it and then threw it across the room. Is actually what happened.
He was so mad.
He's so mad about it not being a burrito.
Yeah.
Is that...
I don't care if it's the same food. It's not burrito shaped.
All right. So Max, Friday night, where'd you eat?
All right. Friday, I went to a pretty cool spot. This is a place that I had been to a couple of years ago. It's called Taco. Tako.
Okay.
And this place is like, if you've been to, I don't want to do free advertising for Taco here, but if you've been to Condado,
okay,
Barrio,
mm-hmm.
This is like that cranked up to 11.
What? Say the name of this place again.
Taco.
Tako.
Tako.
Not around.
It's
just Taco.
TAKOPGH.com.
Yeah, and it's owned by this restaurant group, this guy Richard Deschamps, and I've been to a couple of his places. He's like a restaurateur in Pittsburgh. Cleveland has Michael Symon. This guy I think is the Pittsburgh version of that. All of his stuff is really, really quite good. I would go back here again. Just tacos are pretty basic food anyway, but they kind of elevate it. It's elevated in a lot of ways, but still pretty down there. Like they make all their own tortillas in house.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love that.
Like it's a really cool vibe, really cool spot.
Is there enough cilantro? I gotta.
Oh yeah,
like,
and they had
amounts of cilantro.
Their menu is not real traditional if you're into like that, or just like cilantro and onions al pastor style tacos, but they have a bunch of different combinations. I ended up getting this octopus taco.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Crazy.
Okay.
Really quite good.
I was at a brewery yesterday, and the owner of the brewery was telling me all about taco because they have a really good selection of tequila and mezcals and other agave spirits. Ooh. And he also told me about the octopus taco.
It holds up. And I got a couple of margaritas there, and they were awesome.
What was the name of the brewery that you were at, Twan?
I have to look up the name.
All right,
it wasn't actually in Pittsburgh. It's kind of outside of Pittsburgh.
That's okay. We want to know that guy knows what's up about taco. We're going to give him a plug, too. Because actually, Max, you're like, oh, free advertising for taco. This is why people are listening to this show. Mostly, this is the part that people, like a lot of people are just fast-forwarding to the...
Do you have actual metrics on this, or is this just your imagination?
This is my imagination. Okay. I guess I would say when I listen to Serious, this is my projection on our podcast based on my consumption of the Serious Vintage podcast. And I know that was a section of the show that people enjoyed. I enjoyed it. So we're going to do it because I enjoyed it. Let's say that.
Okay.
The brewery I was at was a place called Cobblehouse.
Cobblehouse. You like these Cobblehouse. So your Carcassonne background is Eastern European? Is that
my family's from Italy, but my dad's side of the family, but I'm actually more German than I am anything else.
Okay, so there you go. Now we are going to enter the home stretch of this show. This is the other part of the show that many people just fast forward to this part of the show, and they only listen to this part of the show. And that is the swag corner.
Swag. There you go. I was spreading swag around town like a killer swag virus.
Swagalicious.
What is the swag corner? Twan, you said you just recently listened to the last episode, so maybe you understand what we're going to do here. Max, you've been on before, and I don't think we had instantiated swag corner when you were on. Maybe not.
No, we had not.
This is Angelo's segment that he wanted to bring to the show. He wanted to highlight. Well, you tell it. You tell it, Angelo.
I mean, I want to highlight people who put some effort into making their deck look cool. You know, like not like a cool deck with cool cards in it. The selection of the cards, foil this or original edition that, or like some kind of crazy, it's all on a key ring or whatever your thing is. What was the coolest deck, cards, playmat, whatever you saw while you were doing the thing?
I mean, there was your playmat that was getting passed around. That was pretty cool.
I'm glad that happened too, by the way.
Yeah. And I was pretty confused when the person gave it to me. I was like, what do you mean I have to take this and give it to someone else?
That's the way it goes.
Tell real quick, what was that?
Oh, so I bought this, come on.
Rainbow Veil, right?
Rainbow Veil, thank you. I bought this Rainbow Veil playmat, and I was looking at my playmat collection, and I have 15. I don't need another playmat. It's a rainbow veil. So when you play with it, you have to give it to your opponent. And I'm going to give it to my opponent and make them keep it and sign it. And hopefully they keep doing that. But everybody I explained it to, like you or Steven or Nam, was like, that's dumb. I don't want that playmat. So I couldn't get it to go. And then I was like, I'm going to make this happen here. And I gave it to, I think I make Eric start with it or whoever started with it. I was like, just explain to them that it's theirs after you play the match, whether win or lose. You've tapped the Rainbow Veil. And now it's out there somewhere. And hopefully I run into it again in 5-10 years and it's covered with
I was like, okay, you have to take this.
And
cute. He's like, but I want to use my playmat. And I explained it to him. He's like, oh, okay, that's fun. I'll take it for you.
Yeah, one match. Or game if it's kitchen table Magic.
So that was pretty swag. You felt like that was pretty swag. Did you see any decks that you felt like were deserving of the swag moniker?
Pretty much everything I played were kind of middle school decks I've seen before. There wasn't anything too crazy.
No one you played had any really cool altered cards, signed cards, anything like that?
I mean, I saw a handful of cards that had so many signatures on them you could barely read them.
Some good stamp cards. Yeah.
Made me happy.
It's cool.
Yeah. Right on. So I was fishing for compliments on my deck there, Twan. You didn't take the bait.
He messed
That's
up.
okay.
Oh, yeah, I should have taken
Just
the
never
bait,
inviting you
'cause
back. It's okay. It's okay.
Every card in your deck was something crazy.
It's fair. It's fair. You're just blinded. You're just dazzled. You're so dazzled. Angelo, you're leading this section.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Max, what was the swag that you saw while playing cards last Saturday?
So, two things here. I am the current holder of the playmat.
Nice.
So there's a chance one of you may get it if you play me next. I will honor the history of the playmat and pass it along, though.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see all the decks that I played against were pretty stock. No alters, no signatures really. But during the legacy portion of the event, I played against a guy with a total white bordered Doomsday deck.
Nice.
Ooh.
So his
Cool.
polluted deltas, underruns are already white bordered, but obviously everything was white bordered, man. He went through all the trouble to, his Lion's Eye Diamonds white
I
border.
love that.
Did he beat you?
Did he beat me? Did I lose to that guy? I think I got him.
Well, at least he had those nice white border cards to look at while you were beating his face.
I remember we fought over the Doomsday, and then he had to pass the turn, and I was able to Doomsday kill him. That was kind of the...
All right, and Raja, what'd you see, man?
Yeah, I didn't see anything too swaggy overall. I guess I'll give it to Nom's vintage deck. Let's say, yes, Nom's vintage deck. I will settle on that because Nom plays foils everywhere that he can, and I think he took a picture of it. I will try to get it in the show notes because his decks are always looking swag. So I will say Nom Tran and his all foil vintage deck except for workshops.
Does Nom play Bazaar?
No.
All foil, no Bazaars?
Oh, no. I mean, in the workshop deck, you have to play power and you have to play workshops that are non-foil. But everything else is like really cool foils. He doesn't always have the inventions and stuff, but it's very nicely coordinated. And so, yeah, I would say
Well, I got to give a shout out to your boy Troy. He had a Madness deck, and it wasn't fully foiled out, but he had a lot of spendy middle school foils in there from the Madness deck, which was cool.
Okay.
Like, he's like, going to show up to a middle school event with some good cards. That was nice.
I know he had been working on foiling it when he came to our event in Warren.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that he had completed more of the play sets since then. I didn't get a chance
when
to
we
see
talked about how some of the cards are unreasonably expensive, it's like, this is expensive for a card that's only good in pre-modern and middle school. I'm like, well, that's why it's expensive. Expensive foil.
Yes. So, yeah, Swag Corner. Thank you, Angelo, for your amazing section of the show. I know, like I said, a lot of people are very excited to tune in for.
It's probably the only thing people listen to.
Because you are a tastemaker. So, when you say something is sweet, then people listen. So
that's fair.
So as we head into the end of the show, we're going to go into the wrap-up. What we're going to do is I'm just going to go around the horn. We're going to say some final thoughts on Eternal Weekend. So we're going to start with you, Max. Final thoughts on Eternal Weekend, please.
So final thoughts, as always, great time, great people. It's always more about the gathering than it is usually about the magic. But had a good time playing. Did learn that I don't think I'm really cut out for the big tournament anymore. Give me 4 or 5 rounds. It's really all I can comprehend on any given day. I don't know if I'll be going into the main event any other time from here on out.
Wow.
I just don't know if it was worth it.
It's sweaty in there.
We did talk about that a little bit on the last episode. Just are we too old for vintage? But I think we were really talking about vintage at a high level. That's going to take 9 rounds or 10 rounds to complete.
Yeah. I was playing this breach deck. Obviously, all my opponents made me play it out every single time, and it just takes a lot to go through that, and especially when you're not used to playing it in paper. Magic Online keeps track of your mana, keeps track of your storm, and just not having the reps with that was kind of exhausting.
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, great time, for sure.
Twan, you're Pittsburgh native, so and you mentioned you didn't really make it to the hall. So most of your Eternal weekend was the middle school tournament.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on the weekend?
It does make me happy the Eternal weekend is back in Pittsburgh, just because it draws people to be here.
Right. Yeah.
I missed the middle school event last year, but I was really excited to be in town and see it this time and get to see everybody. It was fun to meet a couple of people that hadn't played middle school before. They were pretty pumped about it. Yeah, just in general, it was just good seeing everybody, and it makes me excited to make it to more of some of the more middle school / old school events this year.
Right on. Angelo.
This is the first time in my life I went to the event without going in the hall. The hall has its advantages, but usually what happens to me when I go in the hall is I drop a lot of money on cards I don't want because I'm like, oh, that's a great deal on a Beta Fireball, or oh, that's a sweet-looking promo that I didn't know existed. I'm going to make a deck. And I waste a bunch of money, whether I'm in the main event or not, because there's a lot of standing around talking to dude sweats. I don't enjoy the between rounds stuff. I do like playing Magic, and I'm playing a lot of it, but I hate that I have to wait in between rounds.
Yeah.
And the cost of everything. So when I can go and have an Airbnb, some bros just to play the decks that I don't have to worry about the meta, and yeah, it's way better this way. But you got to have friends to do that, right? So I appreciate you guys. Anybody who's listening, appreciate you.
Yeah, as I'm taking us out here, I realize one of the big things that we didn't talk about is the appearance of Jeff at the Eternal weekend. Now, yes. I think you guys met Jeff for the first time. I don't know if Twan, you got to meet Jeff at all, but that was the very first TSI I ever went to was at Jeff's house. And it was really cool that he came out. I would just want to give him a shout out. I just thought it was really awesome that Jeff came. He played middle school, and yeah, it was really cool to see him. Overall, I had a great time at Eternal weekend. I think I'm with you, Max, on not being ready or not being able to play those long rounds. That's a large feeder into why I chose the deck that I chose. Even though I didn't have a good showing, it was a deck I felt like I could play for 9 rounds. But I can have maybe a better time if I play something that's more vintage-y. Middle school, got to play my dragon deck. I got to play the new build coming out of Japan, new dragon hotness, which is Xantid Swarm. And Xantid Swarm did a lot of work.
It's pretty good.
If they can't counter it, it's kind of a fun, free, get to do stuff against blue decks. Really powerful card. I think I will revisit playing Xantid Swarm. Great event, great weekend overall. I just want to say thanks to Eric for running an awesome tournament yet again. It was a great time. I think a great time was had by all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's happened once again. You've wasted a perfectly good 90 minutes on Full Warning, the Team Serious podcast. I'm Roger James.
I'm BC Druid.
I'm Twan.
And I'm Max Gibson.
And we'll talk to you next time on Full Warning. Trying so hard. Beat it so fast you should pull the red card. We've been holding this world on our shoulders for so long, might just fall apart. Looting these dungeons 100% and there is no respawn and you can't hit restart. We are stoned, we are sober until it is over. We got to keep playing our part. We are stoned, we are sober until it is over. We got to keep playing our part. Steadily trying to make my way. 99 bad beats and that's just today. 100% when it comes to this part. The game is more than cards. Each morning you wake up, hop up and swag 'em, but sometimes you're lost where to go. One in front of the other, move forward, not backwards. We got this game locked up for show. Put your hand on your heart, your fist in the air, and then just repeat after me. Walk in the light, stack paper high, fulfill your destiny. Trying so hard, beat it so fast you should pull the red card. Been holding this world on our shoulders for so long, might just fall apart. Looting these dungeons 100%, and there is no respawn, and you can't hit restart. We are stoned, we are sober, until it is over, we got to keep playing our part. We are stoned, we are sober, until it is over, we got to keep playing our part. And this is where we put in a bunch of effects. That's the outro music going there.